MrBeast's videos are clicked on very often. And that is not a coincidence. There is a system behind that. In this video, we're gonna take a close look at this system and break down the 5 steps how you can actually apply the system to your channel. And at the end, I even have a bonus tip that's actually the most important of them all.
The only way my next video that I upload is a actual 1 out of 10 is if it is the most viewed video in YouTube history in a 24-hour period, because my last video was the second most viewed video in YouTube history in a 24-hour period.
But the very first thing that caught my eye is how MrBeast starts his videos.
I just bought this train and it is currently barreling full speed towards that giant pit over there.
Did you see what he did there? The video is titled Train vs Giant Pit, and in the first 3 seconds of his video, he not only literally says that he bought a train heading for a pit, but he also visually shows it. So Jimmy has created an expectation with his title and his thumbnail. We expect to see a train going into a pit.
Essentially, your title and thumbnail set expectations, and at the very beginning of the video, to minimize drop-off, you want to assure them that those expectations are being met.
Now, you might be thinking, I don't have a train to drive into a pit, so how does this apply to my videos? Well, the same principle works for almost any video. Take this video that you're watching right now as an example. With the title and the thumbnail, I set the expectation that I will show you what every YouTuber can learn from MrBeast. So in the first few seconds of the video, I established that MrBeast gets a lot of clicks, there's a system behind it, and in this video, I'll show you the system. MrBeast's videos are clicked on very often. And that is not a coincidence. There is a system behind that. In this video, we're gonna take a close look at this system and break down the 5 steps how you can actually apply the system to your channel. So please don't start your videos with, "Hi, I'm Marcus. Please subscribe, like my video. Today we're talking about..." Instead, fulfill the expectations you've set with your title and your thumbnail in the very first seconds of your video. And I promise your audience retention will skyrocket. The next part of the formula is really clever and something too few YouTubers actually pay attention to. But before we get to that, I need to show you what Jimmy's hooks visually accomplish.
I've always thought about the thumbnail, but now on YouTube, videos automatically play. All you have on your phone is the autoplay.
Yeah, because that's what's gonna play.
It's the first 5 seconds.
And so you make sure the first 5 seconds looks like the thumbnail.
Of course. So before you film a video, what is the thumbnail? What is the video? And then what's the first 5 seconds? And then what's the first 30 seconds? By the first 5 seconds is like goes with the thumbnail.
In some cases, autoplay can start so quickly that your thumbnail isn't even visible at all.
Because it's possible that people open YouTube and
they don't see it.
They don't
Especially
even see the
for
thumbnail.
us, because like for so many people I've watched hundreds of our videos, when I upload, I am first on your homepage. So like you just literally don't even see the thumbnail because it autoplays so quickly. So like the thumbnail is irrelevant. I have to like visually convince you to click on the video.
So if Jimmy wants to hook his viewers by doing something crazy like crashing an entire train and you can't see any of that in the first few seconds, most people would just scroll past and watch something else. So it's definitely not a coincidence that in the first few seconds of this video you saw an animation of Jimmy and my face didn't become visible until much later. But, and now it's getting important, there is an essential mistake you can make in the first few seconds of your video that you should avoid at all costs. Because if you get this wrong, your viewers will tune out after a few seconds. Because while it's essential for your viewers to know what to expect at any given time in your video, you shouldn't reveal your big finale too early. So in Jimmy's case, that would be showing the train actually crashing into the pit. But in the first few seconds, he shows the train heading towards the pit, but not the crash itself. But here's already the next problem. What's stopping the viewer from just skipping to the end of the video to see the big payoff?
So at the very beginning, match the expectations, and then you want to exceed them. So you want to assure people that what they clicked on is what they're getting, and then blow their mind and be like, but you're also getting even more. That's how you lower drop off.
And that's exactly what he does.
We're also crashing countless cars, blowing up thousands of sticks of real dynamite, and even putting 10 jet engines on a car, just to show you the most insane experiments of all time.
Suddenly, we don't just have one curiosity gap for the big payoff at the end of the video, we have created 4 more curiosity gaps for smaller mini payoffs throughout the whole video. I mean, if you can call blowing up an entire house a mini payoff. In this video, I actually used a similar approach and gave you an outline for the video right in the introduction, explicitly stating that I'll break down MrBeast's system into 5 steps. The next point actually surprised me because MrBeast isn't necessarily known for his storytelling.
That's what I'm saying, there's always a way to improve them. And for me, one of the things I lacked was storytelling.
But even MrBeast has room for improvement, which I'll discuss more in detail in step 5. And he constantly works on enhancing and optimizing his storytelling, which you can clearly see in his newer videos.
I used to be a big fan of like simplicity, like keep the challenges as simple as possible. I was like, screw it. Like people say they want better stories. Let's do it. Let's slow it down. Let's build some characters. Yeah. That's what people say they want. And they worked.
He intentionally establishes story elements that run throughout the entire video. In his Train vs. Giant Pit video, for example, he presents the challenge to his viewer Will to protect $50,000 from a pile of TNT.
This is $50,000 and it is surrounded by thousands of pounds of TNT. And this is Will. What's up, guys? Here's my credit card. Spend as much money as you want to protect this 50 grand.
He then sprinkles this challenge at different points into the video, and as viewers, we eagerly anticipate what Will come up with and whether he'll succeed in taking the money home or not. To heighten the suspense, Jimmy later then increases the stakes to $100,000 with double the amount of TNT. Logically, he could have started with the $100,000 challenge from the beginning, but by building it up, he keeps the excitement growing. But even within the individual experiments, Jimmy consciously incorporates storytelling elements. Instead of just blowing up a house, he lets Nolan, Tarek, and Carl place mannequins into the house to see where you'd best survive an exploding house. Of course, you can't survive in an exploding house and all the mannequins burn up in the end.
I don't think our mannequins are gonna make it.
The house burned out all night until there was literally nothing left, including all the mannequins.
But this small narrative thread keeps us engaged and legitimizes the fact that there are blowing up in the house for the story. But implementing this classic storytelling with characters experiencing certain things is of course a bit challenging for me as an edutainment creator. Still, I deliberately use certain elements at various points to keep you as the audience engaged. And at the end, I even have a bonus tip that's actually the most important of them all. This sentence, for example, hints specifically that something special is coming at the end and you should watch all the way through. The next point actually surprised me. This wording was also not by chance. It aims to evoke the same emotion of surprise in you. But the next point is the one that really brought Jimmy to the #1 spot on YouTube. See? That wording wasn't random either, because the reason MrBeast is truly the undisputed #1 is because he doesn't rest on his success.
I could start a new channel tomorrow with not using my face or my voice, like without ever promoting it, and in 6 months have 20 million subscribers. I just could. It really is just knowledge. And I can already tell you 90% of the people watching, they don't agree with that. They don't. And the second you accept that it is knowledge and you start your, for me, 10,000 day journey of learning, for you, whatever it is, if you want to be less hardcore. And every single day, I just need to be devoted to learning as much as possible and improving as much as possible. And I got to improve every video as much as I can. Then there you go.
Instead of thinking, hey, I've cracked the code, I'm the biggest YouTuber in the world, he continuously works to make his content even better, reach more people, and create even crazier content. And if even someone like MrBeast constantly strives to improve from one video to the next, think about how much room there is for improvement for you and me. If we improve by 5% from one video to the next, the second video will be 105% as good as the previous one. But if the third video is 5% better than the second, it will already be 110.25% as good as the first one. By the 100th video, it would be 13,150% better than the first. What I'm trying to say is, don't underestimate the power of the compound effect. No matter what you want to achieve in life, whether it's a successful YouTube channel or something else, if you consistently work on it and consistently improve, you can achieve anything. But, and here's the very important bonus tip, never forget that it should be fun.
People think just because you go for views means you can't have fun, but you can pull views and you can have fun, which is what we purposely try to do.
If you're not doing something that's just inherently fun to you, you're just quit. Just
give up. Like you gotta at least semi-enjoy what you're doing, or you're gonna quit long before it gets to the point where it brings in money or whatever else could be driving you. So find what you love, and then I would just hyper obsess. Make sure no one doing what you're doing is doing it better. Make sure the videos are as good as possible.
If you don't enjoy making YouTube videos and you're only doing it to, I don't know, get super rich super quickly, forget it. Becoming insanely successful on YouTube is still very much possible in 2023, but it's a shit ton of work. And if you don't find joy in that work and don't enjoy immersing yourself in it, you'll never have the perseverance to truly succeed. Another YouTuber who lives his passion 100% is Casey Neistat. He actually comes from beginnings, but he developed a huge passion for filmmaking from a young age. And he worked on his filmmaking skills for decades before finally achieving the success he deserved on YouTube. There is a reason Casey is now known as the YouTuber with the best storytelling on the whole platform. How he does his storytelling and what tips and tricks we can learn from him, I'll show you in this video, which you should definitely watch next.